I hadn't played the keyboard in years, but when I touched the keys, my hands remembered. Trading is the same way. When you build a real skill, you'll never lose it. What we do is just refine it. Today I'll show you a quick scalp that I took on the 5-minute time frame for NAS. All right, and so this is what I noticed this morning when I took a look at the charts. I noticed that there was a strong push down from here. And so I used my tool to create a zone. Break and retest is our strategy. And so that is the strategy that we are going to be using. Remember that there are a couple of ways that we can use break and retest. We can either look for a break and retest of support or resistance, or we can look for the break and retest of a trend line. And then we can do this on any of the time frames. So I'm going to be starting with the 15-minute time frame here, and then from that time frame, I will be going down to a smaller time frame to find an entry. And this zone looks like it hasn't been tapped into yet. So it's possible that price could come up and tap into this zone. And so our strategy, which is a 15-minute break and retest, could occur based on this break and retest of support. So there's our support level, that's 15-minute. And we can use our path tool to show that price has come down out of the support, and it might come back up and enter the supply area and continue downward. And so that's one of our ideas. All right. Also in the 15-minute time frame, we notice that price is following along this trend line. So we could draw our trend line here and see what happens as well. So we could also see a break and retest of the trend line. And since we're on the 15-minute time frame, we're going to go down to the 5-minute to take a closer look at price action. Overnight, price is respecting this trend line, so we'll see if it continues to respect it. So we'll continue forward, and we can see that it did respect the trend line, and it is heading upward. And so then we get a push down, and when we come back up, we can see it looks like we have a pattern that we've seen before, which is called a double top. So what we did was entered here and just took price down a little ways. We know that it's been respecting this trend line and we're in an uptrend, so this is just going to be a quick counter trend scalp. And a good place to stop for a scalp sometimes is where you see a doji. So here's a doji here. And dojis are areas of indecision, and so that's a good target sometimes for these quick short scalps. And so you can mark that spot so that we know that that's where we would want to exit the trade. All right, and so this is about where we entered here. And so you can mark that spot so that we know that that's where we would want to exit the trade. And let's be mindful here that we are not forcing a trade, that we're going with the flow. We see that there is a double top here, and there's an opportunity for price to go to the downside. And so that's why we're entering. We're not going to hold it for long because we know that this is a counter trend trade. And if we put up the EMAs, we'll notice that we are trading above the EMAs. Okay, so we have to think about what's actually happening instead of what we want to happen. So it's really important when we're trading to be sure to follow price action, to notice what's happening, and make our plans from there. So our plans and our action should be based on what we see each candlestick showing us. Okay, and that was a quick scalp. Okay, and so now let's take a look at this trade on the Henko Trade platform. Okay, and once we see that price is leaving our zone, we can go ahead and move our stop loss to break even or just enough to cover the commission. Just like the piano, you practice the basics, you return to what works, and over time the skill becomes part of you. Trade mindfully. I'll see you next week.